Hey everybody, got another video here for you. So the pickguard material came in for the X-15 for the interchangeable pickup mounting plates and such, and it's time to start mass producing interchangeable pickup mounting plates and such. I counted wrong. I gotta make a couple more plates. I needed 17, I made 15. But yeah, this is gonna take a while. This is gonna keep me busy for sure, because I've got, all these have to be mounted up and wired up to these kind of guys. So yeah, this is going to take a while. I don't know how much of it I'll film. So I was thinking about it, and if building guitars, like the kind of guitars I build at least, was like building samurai swords, then in building samurai swords, the first thing they teach an apprentice is how to make charcoal. Basically, cut up wood in little squares. they use precisely sized fuel in order to control the temperature of the fire, and therefore the temperature of the metal during the smelting process. It's one of the tricks. But yeah, you spend like your first year or something as an apprentice sword maker just learning how to make fuel. And I was thinking that for this, you'd spend a year just learning how to make shims, because you learn a lot of skills just making a shim. You learn marking and cutting and sanding and finishing and cleaning and polishing if needed. So yeah, a lot of skills there. Oh, and painting. These will have to all be painted black before I can use them. And you even occasionally do some drilling when you're making a shim, like if you're putting in a lock nut and you're going to be using the screws to install it, then oftentimes you make a shim and then drill holes so the screws can go through. I suppose to round this out, I should get a Fender Original Telly neck and bridge set. They're only about $115 or something like that, as I recall. And yeah, I put one in the vintage Telly, and yeah, maybe I should do that, because I don't have any just plain old single coils. Not here. I mean, I've got some sitting around. I suppose I could use those, but there's not terribly impressive or special or anything. The Fender vintage units, they sound nice. So that's one pickup mounted up, and now I have to mount up 16 more, and then I have to wire up all 17. So it's looking like I'm going to need a few more shims. And yeah, I'm going to have to sand and paint them all, and no, I'm not going to film it. Like I said, gotta sand them and paint them all. So, just starting on the second pair of pickups, high output humbuckers, and I think I've finally got enough shim material in order to do all this. The blocks of wood clock in at about 5 mil. The black pickguard material is about 2 mil. The thin, bumpy, textured stuff is 1 mil. And last but not least, brass to the rescue, clocking in at right around 0.5 mil in order to get everything dialed in. Oh, and I also have this stuff that's a little under 3 mil. So, yeah, I was actually able to use like 2 of these guys underneath the EMGs, and that worked out perfectly in order to raise them up just enough to clear that clip that goes underneath them. But unfortunately, that meant that all the rest of the pickups have to be, need a lot of shim. The EMG with the clip was clocking in at like 24 millimeters, and this thing is only like 17.5 millimeters thick by comparison. So yeah, like this particular pickup's going to require about 6.5, almost 7 mil worth of shim on top of the base. So yeah, something like this kind of a thing. But I think I've finally got enough parts made up to at least do this pair, I think. And I'm going to have to cut more, like 2 mil and 1 mil material most likely. But I just cut up a bunch of brass shims because I couldn't get any other combination to get like within even half a mil of where I need to be with these guys. So now I'll be gluing up this set, and I'll probably need to make more shims. I have to go through, and for each one I measure the thickness of the pickup, and I know the thickness of the mounting plate, and from that, and I know the desired final height of the unit, including the mounting plate, which is 26 millimeters. And just do the math, and it tells me how much shim I need, and then I just start piling pieces up until you get it, and then just glue it all up. So for example, these high output humbuckers, or you get one brass, one of the thin bumpy 1 mils, and one of the wood blocks. That much shim. And it'll be like, you take your pile, and one's going to go across like that, and the other one goes across like that. Then once it's all nice and dry, then you can glue it on here, get it nice and centered between the holes. Some of these are like not centered as far as like the plates themselves go and the holes. I didn't specifically try to do that on a plate by plate basis. I kind of mass produced them, but the original size on some of them was a little long, and so depending on which way they were in the stack, some of them might have the holes shifted if it was a long piece. Like if you compare this one's pretty close, but you see they got stacked up like this, and the holes line up, but yeah, one's much longer than the other. The length of the actual plate doesn't matter. It's what's critical is the space between the holes, and each one of these will be fitted, since they're going to go with this guitar basically. Each one will be fitted to make sure that each plate fits both positions, and if not, file to fit. This really is a bit of a challenge because each of these pickups is unique in design. The EMGs have a clip on the bottom, and the last one I did, the high output humbuckers, they look pretty normal actually. These have incredibly long screws sticking out. So yeah, good thing the pickup itself is thin. But I already measured all the pickups before I started this, and the EMG is the thickest, so even something like this, the shims will all go back here behind the screws, so to speak. And yeah, it'll fit. So here's the PAF types, and they're looking pretty good, but they're still going to need a little bit more work. The tabs don't allow the covers to go down all the way. Somehow I miscalculated and ended up with like 27 mil instead of 26, which might still work actually. But I'm probably going to have to cut these tabs off in order to get this to go all the way down, and this adds another 0.6 of a mil to the height of the whole unit. So once you get into that point, it might not work, and I might have to reduce the amount of shim under here. But it's already got, I mean, it's got like 10 millimeters worth of shim almost, so we're right around 10. So yeah, there's at least a few mil you can go down before, get the right sign here, yeah, you can go down probably 4 or 5 mil before the screws would hit the base, so it can be lowered. But one thing I saw that was nice is I'm using the wires in order to orient the pickups on the mounting plates, and if you notice, in finest PAF tradition, the screws for the neck are towards the neck, and the screws for the bridge are towards the bridge. And yeah, these are neck and bridge pickups. They're not identical. And they were labeled, and I labeled them. So yeah, neck and bridge set. Just got to get the clearances correct. Looks kind of nice in gold. Should go well with the red. Some of the hardware originally this guitar was like burgundy and gold, as I recall. Okay, I think that's going to do it for this video. So until the next one, everybody, have a good one.